Hello everyone and welcome to another video on JavaScript programming. My name is Kaushal and today we will learn about operators in JavaScript. By now you must have a clear understanding of data types and we know enough about variables in JavaScript. So without any further delay, let's go through operators in JavaScript. In any programming language, an operator is a symbol that makes the computer understand that it needs to do some specific task. Like if we want to perform an addition between two numbers, let's say we want to perform addition between 4 and 5. So guys, if you see the plus sign here, this is known as the operator, and the two terms which are 4 and 5, these two numbers, these are known as the operands. We have different operators for different purposes. Like we have plus for addition, we have minus for subtraction, we have star or asterisk we can say for multiplication, and many more other operators as well. So there are many more operators present in almost every programming language which is present out there. Operators are present in Java, they are present in C++, in C. Almost every programming language out there has the concept of operators. It's essential for you to know how and where to use any operator despite of the language you are working on. One needs to understand which operators are available, right? So in this particular video, I'll take you through the basic types of operator present in JavaScript. I'll let you know the types and we'll learn about how to use them, and of course I'll take you through the different categories of operators present in JavaScript. So in JavaScript there are basically 8 categories into which operators are divided, which are: we have arithmetic operators, we have assignment, we have string, we have conditional, we have logical, bitwise, comparison, and type of operator. We'll discuss the first 3 types in this video, that is, we'll discuss the arithmetic operators, we'll discuss the assignment and the string operators. Rest we'll talk about in the following video. First up here is the arithmetic operator. Hope you all are aware of the term arithmetic, right? So, arithmetic operators perform mathematical calculations, like it performs addition, subtraction, multiplication and division as well. So here are the few operators you can see on your screen: the plus operator, minus, asterisk, division, we have modulus, we have increment, we have decrement. So these are the basic arithmetic operator. We'll see each of these operator with an example. So let's move on to the programming part first. So guys, I want to mention one more thing here. I want all of you to make a separate file for each topic we'll be covering from now on. Like for operators, you'll create a separate file. We'll create a separate one for control statements and other topics we'll cover in future from today. So I want you to create a separate file because, you know, in future if you want to access these topics, it will be easy for you to access those files. Instead, if you are using a single file for all the topics, it will be quite confusing. So let's start with the arithmetic operators first. Let's take two variables. We are in the JavaScript file. Let's take two variables. Let's say var x equals to 6, and we'll take another variable. Let's say var y equals to 4. Now we'll perform some arithmetic operations on these two variables. We have already seen the arithmetic operators present, like we have plus, minus, we have increment, decrement, we have multiplication, division. So we'll go through all of these, right? So let's start with it. Here we are done with our basic 3 operators, which is addition, subtraction and multiplication. I have commented the division because I have something to tell you about the division. So let's check the output here first. Let's save it and see. The output is addition 10, subtraction 2 and multiplication 24. For addition it added the two numbers, it's 6 plus 4. Similarly for subtraction and multiplication it is 6 minus 4 and it's 6 multiplied by 4. For division, I have left division because I hope you guys know the difference between division and the modulus operator. Let's try to use the modulus operator along with the division. So what we'll do, we'll comment these 3 and let's remove it from here, and what we'll do, we'll paste this here and we'll use the modulus here. So now let's check the output, what it says for division and modulus. See, we have divided 6 by 4. Division, it says it's 1.5. 6 divided by 4, that is 1.5. It will show the quotient here. For modulus, it's saying 2 because in modulus, it gives you the remainder, and in division, it gives you the quotient as the answer. So keep this thing in mind, guys. Keep this in mind always. Take a note of it. So we are done with division and modulus. Next up, we have the increment and the decrement operators. Let me show them to you real quick. So what we'll do, we'll declare another variable, let's say where z equals to 5. And we'll use the increment operator here. We'll use again document.write. And here let's say we write increment. How to use increment operator? For increment operator, you have to use plus whatever variable you have used. So we'll use plus z. And similarly, we'll copy this, paste it here, and here we'll use minus for decrement. And change here as well. So let's see what happens. Let me give some space in between them so that you won't get confused. Let's save it and check the output here. Increment it says 6 and decrement it says 5. So you can see here the functioning of decrement and increment operator. The increment operator will increase the value of z by 1 and the decrement operator will do the opposite of this. It will decrease the value by 1. So we are done with the arithmetic operators. Next up we have the assignment operators. Assignment operators are used to assign values to different JavaScript variables. Let's see the types first and then we'll see how to use them. So we have these assignment operators here. We have equals to, plus equals to, minus equals to, and we have multiplied equals to, we have divide equals to, modulus equals to, and a few more. So let's see each of them with example. Maybe not each of them, but we'll try to cover almost every single operator out there which is present in your screen. So let's move on and see. Let's move on to the programming part. So here we are, guys. Let's declare a few variables. Let's say we are declaring a variable a and we are giving it the value as 10, suppose. And we'll declare another one, let's say var b, and give it the value 5. So for assignment operators, what assignment operator means? We have used here the equal to sign, right? We have used a equals to 10. This means whatever value present on the right side of the operator, like here it is 10, it will be assigned to the variable a. I hope you guys are getting this. Keep this in mind. So we have the value 10 and we are assigning this value to the variable a. It says, let's try to check the output of a. Let's try to print a on the screen. Okay, document. See, here you can see that the value of a, it says 10, and similarly the value of b is 5. So let's do one more thing. We'll assign the value of a to b. How to do this? Let's change the value here only. Let's suppose we are using the value of var a as 13. Okay, and the value of var b will be providing as, let's say, a. So now let's try to print the value of b. Here we will change, we'll print the value of b only. Let's save it and see the output. See, it says the value of b is 13 because we have assigned b the value present at variable a, which is 13. That's why it is showing the value of b as 13. This is what assignment operator is. Let's try other assignment operators as well. Let's take another variable. So let's say var a1 equals to, let's say, 51. So the next operator we will be using is, let's update the value of a1 first. So how to do this? Let's say a1 equals to, no, it's a1 plus equals to 9. And we'll print the value. Let's check the output now. See, it says the value of a1 is 60. Here we have given that a1 plus equals to 9. See, a1 plus equals to 9 is the same as If you don't want to write here a1 plus equals to 9, you can also write it as a1 equals to a1 plus 9. Both of these lines are same. Both these statements means the same. They are performing the same task. So a1 equals to a1 plus 9 is same as a1 plus equals to 9. That's what I want you to understand with assignment operators. Similarly, if you want to perform a1 minus equals to, you can do it as well. So let's say a1 minus is equal to 5, and we'll copy this line from here, paste it here again and save it now. Let's see the output here. What it says. Some of you guys may get confused that here it shows the value of 6 is 69 of a1. So in the first statement, when we tried to print a1 here, the initial value was 51. Then this statement was performed and the value was updated to 60. Then after that, one more statement, this statement is also performed and the value updated to 69. It's 51 plus 9 plus 9, and the value we have here is 69. Now what happens if we are using the minus equals to operator? What it will do, it will decrease the value of a1 by 5. It means that a1 equals to a1 minus 5. The value of a1 is 69 and it will subtract 5 from 69. So here it says the value of a1 is 64. Hope you guys are getting this. So we have so many operators, we have so many of them. Like, let's try a few more. So we have multiply equals to, we have division equals to, we have modulus equals to. So I'll write these and then we'll see the output. So we are done with it. Let's check the output here for A3, A4 and A5. You can see for A3 we have used multiply equals to, for A4 we have used divide equals to, and for A5 we have used modulus equals to. Let's check the output here. Save it and see. It says the value of A3 50. Here we have taken A3 as 5. It's 10 into 5 because A3 equals to A3 into 5. So it's 10 into 5. It shows the value as 50. Similarly, here it says the value of A4 is 3.75 because we have used here 4. So instead of 4, let's try to use 3 and save it. See, here you can see it divides it and gives you the quotient, and the value of A4 divided by 3 is 5. So similarly for A5, it shows the value of A5 is 6 because we have used the modulus operator here, and 20 divided by 7, we have 6 as remainder. So I hope you guys are pretty clear with assignment operators now. Next up, we have string operators. The plus operator, which we used as the arithmetic operators earlier, right? It also operates as a string operator. So we can use it to concatenate two strings. That means we can add two strings as well. In JavaScript, it is possible with the help of string operator. Similarly, we have plus equals to operator for strings as well. Like we have plus equal to for assignment, it has the same functioning for string as well. Let's take the example for these two operators. Let's move on to the programming part. So here you can see we have two variables, var str1 and var str2. The value of var str1 is hello and the value of var str2 is world. So what we'll do, we will add str1 and str2. So let's check the output here, save it and see. Here you can see the output as hello world. But there is no space between hello and world. Keep this point in mind, guys. So if you are adding two strings just like this, there will be no space between the two strings. So if you want to add any space between these two, what you have to do, you have to mention it here separately. And this is the syntax if you want to add space between your strings. So now let's save it now and see. Here you can see there is a space between hello and world. So this is the use of plus operator in strings. So the next one we have plus equals to. Let's take another string. Let's take it as var str3 and we'll give it the value as welcome. So what we'll do, we'll use the plus equal to operator here. Str3 plus equals to, let's say, to simply code. And what we'll do, we'll print the value of str3 here. So Save it now. So here you can see the value of str3. If we remove this line, let's see what happens now. And we'll give it a space here. Save it now. See, here you can see it says hello world. For the first str1 plus str2 it says hello world. For str3 it says welcome to SimplyCode. See, here the space is already given, so it will show this in the output. But between welcome and to, if you want to add space, you have to do the same what you have done for str1 and str2. So let's do it here as well. Plus sign, yes. Save it now and see, here you can see it says welcome to SimplyCode with proper space. Now we will cover the rest of the operators. Now we are left with 5 more. These are the first 3 operators. Now we are left with conditional operators, logical operators, we have bitwise operator, and we have comparison, and finally we have the type of operator. So these are the 5 operators we are going to cover today. Before we start with the operators, let us first discuss associativity. Talking about associativity, it refers to the direction in which the entire expression is evaluated. For example, if you have any expression, let's say you have a plus b. So the direction in which this expression will be evaluated, either it will be from left to right or from right to left. So this is known as associativity. Let's understand it with the help of an example. So here you can see I have taken 3 variables. I have taken variable a and I have assigned it value as 12. I have taken variable b and the value assigned to b is 8. And finally I have a variable result which stores the value of a plus b. Lastly, what I'm doing is I'm printing out the result variable inside the h1 tag. Here you can see I have used the h1 tags, and I have used the plus operator to concatenate the strings, right? I have concatenated these 2 strings along with the result, along with the answer of result. So the plus operator here is doing 2 different tasks, right? Here you can see it is performing the addition of 2 numbers, right? And here you can see it is used to concatenate 2 strings. So now let's talk about associativity, because I guess you guys are clear with string operator till now. We have discussed them in the previous video, right? So let's talk about associativity now. So certain operators have right to left associativity and certain operators have left to right associativity. So when I say right to left associativity, in this case the value present at the right side of the operator. See, if you are using any operator, for example here we have used the assignment operator, right? We have discussed the assignment operator earlier. So here you can see the value present at the right hand side of the operator will be assigned to the variable which is present at the left hand side of the operator. So it's going this way, like first the computer will check for the value present at the right. It's going from right towards the left. This is what we are known as right to left associativity, and assignment operators like equals to, this have right to left associativity. Let's add here one more variable. Let's say we are adding a variable c, and we are giving it the value as 5. And what we'll do, we'll update result as well. Let me first show you the output of this particular program. See, the output will be value of result is 20 and hi there. Hi there is concatenated with the string value of result is, and 20 is the actual answer. The 20 is the value of result. So let's add one more variable here. Let's say we are adding a variable c and the value of c will be 5. What we'll do now, we will update result as well. Here you can see I have done a plus b plus c. So save it, and here you can see the value updated to 25. The value of result is updated, right? So the plus operator has associativity from left to right. Till now we have talked about right to left as for assignment operators, but for plus operators the associativity is from left to right. It means it will first perform a plus b, and then the value of c will be added to that of a plus b. First it will perform 12 plus 8, and then finally it will add 5 to that value. So it will be 20 plus 5, and that's why the output here is 25. We know that JavaScript is a loosely typed programming language, right? Which means that we don't have to specify data types every time. like if we are using any data type, we don't need to specify it every time. Like, let's do one thing, let's add a string here. So what we'll do, we'll add a string. Let's suppose I'm adding hello. So practically the answer would be hello plus 25 or hello 25. It should be the answer. But let's check the output now. Save it. And here you can see the output is hello 1285. What happened here is the associativity of the plus operator is from left to right. We know this. So it will start from the left and it will see that, okay, the first thing to add is a string. So it will assume that everything ahead of this will be a string. That's why we have the output as hello 12, 8 and 5. So 12, 8 and 5 all are acting as string here. Let me clear this one for you with a little bit of modification. Now what we'll do, we'll remove this string from here and we'll add it somewhere else. Let's say we are adding it here. So let's add one more variable to make it more clear. Let's say we are using variable d and the value will be 10. And what we'll do, we'll perform a plus b before the string and then we'll perform c plus d, right? So here you can see when you save it, it says 20 hello 510. So when it reached out the first variable, it finds out that the first variable is a number. So it added the first two numbers, right? It added 12 and 8, the answer is 20. Then it came across this string hello and then finally it assumed that everything ahead of this will be a string. So that's the output. 20 is the addition of a plus b and then the string hello, and finally we have the value of c and d as string. So we have the value 5 and 10, not 15, right? I hope you guys get this. So let's move on to conditional operators. The conditional operators assign a value to a variable based on a certain condition. Like it contains a condition, and you know, for every condition, like there exists only two possibilities. Either it can be true or it can be false. There is nothing else you can do with a conditional operator. So it works the same as if-else statements, which we'll cover in further videos. The only difference between if-else and conditional operators that it takes less time, or we can say its usage is pretty easy. So here is the syntax for conditional operators. So it seems pretty straightforward, right? So here you can see we have a variable name, we have a condition. Depending upon the condition, we have two values. Here's the example as well. See, you can see we have a variable voter. Next up we have a condition. If age is less than 18, so it will check for the condition that if the value of age is actually less than 18, let's suppose the value of age is 15. So it will check if 15 is less than 18, it's true. Then it will print too young. Or if the value of age is greater than 18, then it will print false, or you can say it will print old enough here. So let's move on to the programming part. So here you can see I have taken a variable x and the value assigned to x is 30. What we'll do, in variable y, I have given it a condition. So it will check for x, which is 30, if 30 is greater than or equals to 50. So if it's true, if 30 is actually greater than 50, then it will print true, else it will print false. So we'll check the output once. Let's save it and see. Here you can see the output as false. So if we update the value of x here, let's suppose we are updating the value of x. Let's suppose it's 60. Save it now and see the output has changed to true because 60 is greater than 50, right? Also, if you want to write a message here only, you can do it. Write it here as, so we'll copy it from here. We'll copy document.write and we'll paste it here. Let's remove this document.write, and what we'll do, we'll use this bracket here. And if any message you want to write, like you want to write value of, so, and now what we'll do, we'll save it. See, it says value of true. So, or you can write any other message here as well. You can write value of x is greater than, or you can write whatever. So if you want to update it like value is, and here we will update true with greater, and here we'll use smaller. Save it now. See, here it says value is greater. Value of x is greater than y. So that's all for conditional operators. Also one more thing, conditional operators has three different parts, right? And that's why it is also known as ternary operator. Three different parts, as in it has a condition, like here it has a condition and it has two values, right? It has true or false. So that's why it is also known as ternary operator. Next up, we have the logical operators. So logical operators are used to determine the logic between two variables or values, we can say. We use logical operators to check whether multiple conditions are true or false. Here on your screen you can see the three different types of logical operators present in JavaScript along with their syntax and example. So the AND or NOT are the three operators present in JavaScript. The AND operator, here you can see it is holding two values, right? It has x less than 10 and y greater than 1. So the AND operator will return true only if both the conditions are true, like x has to be less than 10 and y has to be greater than 1. So here you can see we have taken x equals to 7 and y equals to 4. So both the conditions are satisfying here. So that's why the output of the AND operator will be true. For OR operator, the case is a bit different. So if any one of these two conditions, like we have two conditions, if any one of these two is true, then the output will be true. And if both are false, then only the output will be false. The NOT operator, on the other hand, will check if x is equals to y. If the value x is holding is equals to that of y. If the value is not equal, then it will return true. I hope you are getting this. That's a little bit confusing, but if the value x and y holding, if they are not equal, then it will return true. If they are equal, then it will return false, right? We'll understand the programming concept of logical operators in further videos when we learn about control statements. We primarily use logical operators with the if statement, through which we'll come across in the following video. In the next video, we will go through the control statements. So we'll understand the programming part of logical operator there only. Next up, we have the comparison operators. So comparison operators are similar to logical operators in some way. They are also used to check for true and false. As the name suggests, we use comparison operator to compare two values, or we can say to compare two variables using different operators. So here you can see on your screen, these are the different types of comparison operators present in JavaScript. We have equals to, we have not equals to, we have equal value and data type, we have greater than, less than, and we have a few more. So I hope you guys must remember from the previous video that a single equals to operator is an assignment operator. So if we are using a single equals to, then it will be considered as an assignment operator. For comparison, we have to use double equal to. Keep this thing in mind whenever you are using any operator in JavaScript, or especially the equals to operator. So if you want to compare two values, you have to use double equals to, because single equals to is used to assign values. This is an assignment operator. So let's move on to the programming part now. So guys, here you can see I have taken a variable x and the value assigned to x is 10. This code seems a little bit longer to you, but that's a simple piece of code. Like I've used almost every comparison operator we came across in the previous slide. I've used each one of them, and I've used the document.write after every comparison operator to put some spaces in between so that you guys don't confuse between them. So let's check the output now. See, as you can see, I have used the double equals to, the triple equals to, I have used x not equals to it. So let's check the output, save it and see. Here it says false, false, true, 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 false, true, false. So for x equals to 8, it compared the value 10 with 8, and 10 and 8 are not equals to. So the output will be false. As similar for 10, and we have used the triple equals to operator, which means equal value and data type. So both 10 and 8 have equal data type. They both have the same data type, that is number, but the values are different, so it will print false. For x not equals to 8, it says 10 is not equals to 8. Yeah, 10 is not equals to 8 actually, so it will print true. Similarly, for x not equals to 8, it will check that both the values are not equal but the data types are equal, right? So it will print true for this as well. For x greater than 8, yeah, 10 is greater than 8, so it will print true. Similarly, it will check for x smaller than 8, and it will check for x greater than equals to 8, and also for x less than equals to 8. So by now you have understood how comparison operators work. So comparison operators are the easiest to use in programming. And that's all for comparison operators. Let's move on to the next one we have. The next type of operator we have is the type of operator. You guys have an idea about the type of operators, right? As we have discussed it earlier. In case you haven't watched the previous videos, let me give you a brief introduction about this type of operator. So the type of operator is used to provide you with the type of whatever value you put to the right of it. Like if you are using any data type and you want to know about the data type of a particular variable, let's say, so you can use the type of operator. It will tell you the actual data type of any variable. So in JavaScript, as we have discussed earlier in the video where we have particularly discussed about the data types, so there are 5 different types of primitive data types, right? We have the numbers, we have strings, we have boolean, we have null and undefined. So let's try to use type of operator. So here you can see I have used 4 different variables, which are I have used variable x, variable y, and variable flag and variable p. So the values are different. The x is holding 17, y is holding hey there, and flag has the value as false. And I have defined p, but I have not assigned it any value till now. So what I'll do, I have used the type of operator to find out the type of every variable. Like here I have used it for x, for y, for flag and for p. Let's check the output now. Save it and see. It says number, string, boolean and undefined. See, here we have given x the value as 17. So 17 is a number, then it says it is a number. For hey there, it says it is a string. For false, it says it is a boolean value. Like in boolean value, we have only 2 values, like false and true. So for variable p, it says undefined. You know, there is a difference between undefined and null data types. Undefined means lack of value, whereas null means there is absence of value, that there is no value at all. So suppose you are using null as the value for any variable, right? The type of operator will return object. But if you are not giving any value to any variable, like you are using the variable as it is, like here we have not given it any value. So if you are doing this, the type of operator will return undefined. So let's take an example of null as well. Let's declare another variable, let's say var abc, and we'll give it the value as null. So and finally what we'll do, we'll use type of operator. Save it and see. Here it says the type of variable abc is an object. So remember this thing, guys. And now we are done with almost 7 operators we had, and we are left with 1 operator only. So let's move on to our last operator, which is the bitwise operator. This operator doesn't have that much of practical usage in the real world. They are not definitely useless, but this is something like we are not going to use on a daily basis. So in computers, if you know, the numbers are stored in binary format. Bitwise operators work on 32-bit numbers. And we have decimal numbers, like we understand decimal numbers. Computer works on binary numbers, right? So when bitwise operators are used, any operand present in the operation is first converted to a binary number and then converted back to a JavaScript number. So here you can see on your screen, we have 4 different bitwise operators. We have the AND operator, we have OR, we have NOT, and we have XOR, or we can say exclusive OR. The result and the answers are also here. It's pretty simple. See, we have used the AND operator before as well while we were in logical operators, but the syntax was different, and here you can see we have a single ampersand sign to use bitwise AND operator. So here you can see how the decimal number first changes to a binary number. Suppose we have x as 5. Here you can see x is first changed to a binary number. This is the binary equivalent of 5, and 1 is also changed to a binary number, and finally the result, whatever result we get, it is changed to a decimal number. So that's how bitwise operators work. Let's take an example of bitwise operators. So here you can see I have taken two variables. I have taken variable x, and the value of variable x is 5, and another variable is y, and the value of y is 1. And then I have used all the four bitwise operators, like I have used x and y, I have used x or y, I have used not x, and I have used the XOR operator between x and y. So let's check the output now. Here you can see, if we talk about the output, see here it says 1, 5, minus 6 and 4. So for x and y, see the value of x is 0, 1, 0, 1, and for AND operators it will return 1 if both the values are 1. If any one of the two values are 0, then it will return 0. So what it will return here, it will return 0 for 0, 0. For 1, 0 it will also return 0. Similarly for 0, 0 it will also return 0, and for 1, 1 it will return 1, which is the binary equivalent of 1. So the answer here is 1. For x or y, it will return 1 if any one of the two values are 1. See, if both are 0, it will return 0. If any one of the two values is 1, it will return 1. It will return 0 again, and finally it has two ones, so it will return 1. And 0, 1, 0, 1 is the binary equivalent of 5. That's why the output here is 5. For NOT operator, it works a little bit different. It gives you the output which is same as minus x minus 1. So minus x minus 1 will be, see, minus x minus 1 will be minus 5 minus 1, which is minus 6. So this is a bit different here. The NOT operator here is a bit different. For XOR operator, or we can say exclusive OR, it will return 4. Why it will return 4? It will return 1 when any one of the two values is 1. If both are 1, then also it will return false. It will return 1 only in one condition. If any one of the two values is 1, then only it will return 1. That's why the output here will be 0, 1, 0, 0. That's why it's written as 4, which is the binary equivalent of 0, 1, 0, 0. So guys, that's all for this video. See you in the next one. I hope this video will help you. Do give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment your doubts below. Please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Simply Code. Thank you.